Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jaden at Mazda, here at Riverside Mazda, and today I've got the all new and refined 2024 CX-5 in the select trim. So we're gonna go over all what's new this model year and what they've made to make this car better. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off in the front as we do with the styling, dramatically, looks wise, nothing has really changed for this 24 model year, but there are some slight tweaks depending on the trim. So now we have the select trim right here in front of us. Mazda has decided to put on the select and up trims the color match fenders. So I know a lot of people were saying, hey, I wish we didn't have to go all the way up to for the turbo trim or the signature, because in the turbo it's gloss black, signature it's color, to get that body match fender. But now Mazda's done that. You can see it on the lower front splitter and around the wheel arches as well. So I think that's a great way to get that nice styling cue into an affordable price segment as well. And you're also going to see on the select trim the gloss black grille. If we're looking at general styling here, we can still see Mazda does this soul red very beautifully. We can kind of take a look at that paint up in close here if we can kind of get that in focus. But a beautiful sparkle, a nice paint. No artisan red for this model year, not yet at least. There are some new colors, so we'll go ahead and go over all the exterior changes right now. So you can see on the select, preferred, premium, and premium plus trim, we're going to get the body colored fender liners and front bumper and rear bumper garnishes. And then you can see in the premium and premium plus trim the new 19-inch alloy wheel design in a silver metallic finish. So that's going to be what's in our current carbon edition, but just a different color, or 2021 and previous CX-5 wheel designs. In the all-new carbon turbo trim, you can have it in either zircon sand, which is a nice color only on the CX-50s at the moment, or you can get it in rhodium white metallic. But the inside for both will be terracotta leather, and then with this black black suede insert in the middle, which is pretty cool. And you get gloss black side mirrors, black alloy wheels, black signature wing, gloss black B pillars and C pillars, and then the gloss black body cladding. On the turbo premium trim, you're gonna get the new front grille design, same thing on the signature. And you're also gonna get aluminum silver as far as the color on the mirrors and the front wing, for that goes around the Mazda emblem, and then the rear garnish as well. And you, instead of being the gunmetal gray for the wheel color, you're gonna get the silver metallic finish as well. If we're just looking at some other things up here, we're gonna see dramatic body lines right into the hood, one, and then we have a soft one that just kind of flows right into the shoulder. It kind of disappears right there. Looks really nice, but at certain angles it looks like this nice bright red, and you can see on the hood in certain angles it looks dark, right? In this one, we don't have the LED daytime running lights that go around, but you do get your daytime running light right there in the middle, and of course an LED headlight, because that's what they do, all LED lighting here. We're gonna see the gloss black grille with the chrome grille surround, and in the middle, the Mazda emblem that houses the radar cruise control that controls things like automatic braking, the start and the stop, smart brake support, and things like that. And of course, once again, color matched lower front splitter and a nice little air dam right there in front. Moving on from the front to the side here, gonna check out the stud profile. So once again, overall, not that different, but we still know the CX-5 design is pretty timeless. They actually refreshed this car as a 22 model year, and that's when they made it standard all-wheel drive. And as you can see here, we have the smaller, 17-inch wheels here on this specific select trim. So you can see how that looks. They look actually pretty classy. The bigger tire or the bigger sidewall here is actually probably gonna give you a little bit of a better ride. They did do some suspension tweaks to the dampers in the turbo models, but yeah, as we can see, looks here, we have just the solid wheels. And on the premium and up trims, they've actually reverted back to the 2021 and older CX-5s. So I'll throw a picture of that up there so you guys can see what that looks like. But yeah, that's going to be something that they're reintroducing that people really like. And as we make our way to the rear, going to go ahead and check out some rear styling here. And we can see, once again, a beautiful style that's just staying timeless. You have your outside LED daytime running lights there, and then on the inside you have your brake lights, and then your LED turn signals as well. You have your third brake light up at the top, and then your shark fin antenna. And if we come down here, of course, we see CX-5 all-wheel drive, because all Mazda SUVs standard all-wheel drive. and then Skyactiv G powertrain, which Mazda's actually made some tweaks, so when we go into the hood, we can go ahead and check that out. You got a rear backup camera up here, and then once again, just color match with 2 real exhaust outlets right here in the back. And since we're in the back, we're gonna go ahead and check out the trunk space. So you do have just this little release right here in the front here. We can see size is about the same, so still pretty large for the CX-5. You do have some nice room under here. We can see this one just has all weather mats. It is kind of split up as far as the trunk floor into 2 pieces. So you can move that underneath and have some extra storage right underneath there. You can see full size spare, because not a lot of people are doing that. And then on either side, you have little extra cubbies, and then a nice 12 volt in the trunk there. What's really cool is you do have these releases on either side, and the seats themselves, if you want to pull it down. So if I pull down the middle one, that'll throw that down for extra space. And if I want to do something like the outboard seats, same thing, you just give it a pull, and that goes pretty much 90% flat for a much wider and longer load floor. All right, guys, so here we are underneath the hood of the 2024 CX-5. Gonna go over some functional powertrain changes. So fundamentally, this is the same engine, how they have reworked it. From a visual standpoint, they have adapted the new engine cover that you'll see on the Mazda 3s. So this is now like an all black design, and you can see it's got the little lines for the cylinders being a 4, and then the matte black Mazda emblem. But functionally, they have an increase in fuel economy, which I know everybody loves. I know the all-wheel drive, they used to be 26 miles per gallon combined and about 29 on the highway, but these get a bump up to 28 miles per gallon combined for your all-wheel drive, and then 31 on the highway, which is pretty nice. It's nice to see that now they used to average 28 on front-wheel drive. Now you get 28 on all-wheel drive. So fuel economy improvements always welcome. You're still making the same horsepower and torque, and you've actually got a slight jump as far as top speed, 1 mile per hour. You can now go 129 versus 128 in the previous models. But outside of that, everything else is the same in this engine bay, the same reliability and the same trustworthy and dependability that you've known. When you go up to the turbo models, though, you do get a little bit of an upgrade as well. So we can notice that the car got a little bit heavier, not dramatically, going from 3,728 pounds to 3,783 pounds. We get improved dampers in our turbo models for better fuel economy. We also get improved all-wheel drive steering for every model, so a suspension tweak, which is really good. We get a varial compressor for our HVAC, but which controls our AC, which is nice, so that's going to blow nice and hard. Increased strength on the front back of the seat, which I did notice while I was driving. All right, guys, so here we are on the inside of the 2024 CX-5. Gonna go over what has functionally changed style-wise. So we can see off the bat, everything else looks pretty similar to the outgoing models. So they haven't changed too much with the overall basic design. Still get your leather wrap steering wheel with your Mazda emblem right there in front. This is the select trim, so you can see you do get a physical gauge in the middle and the LED gauge is on the right, but in the premium and up trims, then the LED is in the middle and it's a lot bigger, and then that tachometer is just moved over to the right there. But as far as the doors, you're still going to get nice soft touch leather everywhere. So soft touch leather on the upper of the door with some nice gray contrast stitch. You're going to get a aluminum finish, like a dark gunmetal gray here in the select trim, and then aluminum on the door handles. Still nice soft touch leather everywhere, which is really nice even in the select trim, which is not the base but one right above the base. Still nice materials all around. And then gloss black here. You can see the mirror switches. They aren't with the chrome tip, but that's fine, no big deal. If we look down here, we can see we have your off-road traction assist, lane keep assist, and then i-stop if you want to turn that on and off. Your air conditioning still has your aluminum bezels there. And then still you have some pretty good space in the door for a nice sized water bottle and some extra things. This part is plastic though, but that's good. You know, long term it's gonna hold up a little bit better compared to being leather with the fluids and everything that go down there. Also in this select trim, now they've got a new seat design for the select, because this is still leatherette in the select. So leatherette is like synthetic leather or your fake leather, vegan leather, however you want to call it. But I'll go ahead and throw up a picture of what it used to look like in the older select models. The middle of the seat used to have a suede insert, but now we have all of the seat completely full leatherette. And it's actually got some perforation, which is really cool because I know it gets really hot, especially here in Southern California. So I like that they've added this. The Mazda 3 already had full leatherette, but this was half and half for a long time. You can see they have some nice contrast stitching here some nice shoulder bolstering, and then a light gray piping that goes along the length of the seat, which is really cool. I like that. And I can tell when I'm sitting on it, the side supports here for the thighs, they feel actually a lot softer, because I know a lot of people maybe have been complaining about the firmness of the Mazda seats, and it looks like they've taken your feedback into consideration. These do feel a little bit nicer on the legs. From a technology standpoint, we are still using the same 10.25-inch display that is not touchscreen, but controlled down here with Mazda's little center dial, which I don't have a problem with. It becomes very easy to use once you get accustomed to the system. But now adopted for the 24 model years is we do have CarPlay. So if we just go over, we can see CarPlay, but it's now a touchscreen when you want to use CarPlay, which is really cool. You can also set that to do when you're driving. In this select trim, it's going to be wired to CarPlay, but if you're in the Premium Plus or up, then it is going to be wireless CarPlay. So that's a cool thing. I like Mazda's slowly adding things on, but better late than never. So down here, we are going to get things like your climate controls, which are physical knobs, which sound really good, which I know a lot of people will appreciate. Nice, easy access. Don't really have to search through menus. And that's what a lot of people love about the Mazdas. The elegance of the design, the simplicity, longevity. We know these things are tested and proven, right? And then down here, you do have a little 12-volt cigarette style lighter. This isn't a wireless charger, but on the carbon and up trims, you do get a wireless charger in this model, which is pretty cool. And then your drive mode selector. This on the select is just going to be the sport and not sport. Same thing when you go up to a premium, you get your MI drive, which is sport, off-road, and if you have a hitch, it's tow mode as well, right? If we open up the little center console in here, you can see you have a wire. This specific trim doesn't have it, but you will get USB Type-C in the front, and that's once again when you're going to be on the premium and up trims. But one subtle thing they did add is illumination for your USB inputs right there, which are really cool. I like that. Nice attention to detail. So here we are in the back seat of the 2024 CX-5. Going to go over some of the space styling features, things like that. Off the bat, I know people's biggest complaint is really the space, the legroom. I personally don't find it too bad. I mean, it's not the most spacious, but I do have about an inch or two of legroom and ample feet room to slide around and things like that. And I'm about 6'1", and I have the seat positioned to where I would want to sit. Obviously, if you recline the seat back, then it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but that's just per the driver, right? And if we're looking at the door, it's actually got the same cool design and materials that the front has. That's something Mazda's always done. They've never really cheaped out when it gets to the back seats. You have some nice visibility because the windows are nice and big. And then another one right past your C-pillar there for additional visibility. Down here in the middle, we are going to get our two vents. You don't get controls for the temperature or anything like that, but you do get a little slider. In the middle, you're going to have your drop down. If we open that up, same cup holders here, and then you have your USBs in the back as well. There's a USB-A's, and that folds up and out. Same design, full leatherette on the whole seat in the second row, which is really appreciated. And if we can kind of see, headroom back here is more than adequate, probably about that much, a couple inches here. And then of course we have ISOFIX points on either sides for your child seats. On the interior, you can see we have the full black leatherette instead of the half and half with the light gray stitching. On the premium and premium plus trim, we're going to get stitch color change because it used to have like an orange rusty kind of color, and they're going to change it to a light gray on the black leather and a dark gray on the parchment. The carbon turbo you're going to get with the terracotta leather trim seats with black suede inserts. The signature you're going to get light gray instead of black because those did have the dark brown colors on the seats. And then some functionality, you're going to get touchscreen for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for every trim. USB-C and USB-A in the Carbon Edition and above, wireless phone charger in the Premium Plus and above, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in the Premium Plus and above, off-road navigation in the Signature, and no more bows with the Preferred, so that's out. So it looks like Carbon is still your value trim. You're going to get traffic jam assist starting in the Premium trim now. That was something that you can only get in the Signature before. And then of course, we're picking up Platinum Quartz and Zircon Sand and dropping Sonic Silver. All right, guys, so here we are driving the 2024 CX-5 in this select trim. One thing you notice when you're driving it might be a little bit of placebo effect, but I do feel like they've tampered with the suspension a little bit. It does feel a little bit more yielding. I know Mazda tends to go more for a firm type of suspension and that's for handling reasons, but this still handles very well as Mazdas do, because they have what they call G vectoring control, which is just controlling engine torque and the RPM speed to reduce things like body roll and unnecessary weight shift, which is pretty cool. But as we go through some turning roads right here, we're doing one hand on the steering wheel, but it's more than confident in this straight away here. But you can still see, as far as things like the 6-speed transmission, it is built tough, it is reliable, but it is showing times of age or signs of age, right? They stay in that one gear for a long time, which isn't terrible. It's just, you know, with the new 8-speed that's in the 90, you can tell that the shift difference is a big deal, right? To most everyday people, they won't really notice the difference, but if you are driving in cars that shift, you know, pretty quickly, you'll notice it. That is one advantage of an actual 6-speed. You can feel the gears moving, unlike a CVT transmission. But outside of that, I mean, it's just the same great drive that's really refined. Not too noisy in here. The loudest thing you'll hear is the engine when you're on throttle. But if you're just driving it like you normally are, very quiet. The double pane windshield, that's going to help a lot with noise reduction. The extra thick A pillars and B pillars there contribute a lot. We can see the CarPlay it's a nice size. I think everything here is tailored very, very nicely, and over time I'm sure people will grow to want more, but Mazdas really stand to their game, sticking to their guns with the less is more approach, and a lot of people appreciate that, and I appreciate that as a brand enthusiast. All right, so this Mazda feels quicker, but we're actually gonna see if it actually is quicker. We're gonna go ahead and put it into sport mode here, and then we're gonna do a little bit of brake boosting, do a quick 0 to 60 on 3, 2, 1, and it's off. So a little sluggish off the start, but once it gets going, it's hitting peak torque pretty low down, and just like that, we are at 60. So it is fairly quick, not the fastest car out there. Obviously the turbo is going to add a lot more pep, but for most people this is going to be more than enough. Very quick. The gears help with that. They have a nice gear ratio, so compared to most, I would say most midsize in the segment, it's going to be a bit quicker, so you're not going to be lacking when you really need it. So it's right on. So I pushed on it and it gets going again. But just like we need to speed up, we're going to need to slow down. So we're going to do a full emergency stop from 50 miles an hour in 3, 2, 1. And we come to a stop pretty quick with no lockup. So as we finish up our drive here, once again, yeah, we think the CX-5 is a great value proposition in this segment. Mazda is always known for doing premium at a mainstream price level, and as far as things like build quality, attention to detail, longevity, reliability, they've got it all nailed down to a T here with this 24. Since the platform has been going since 17, so it's going really strong here, and I have a lot of new things coming with the CX-5, so really want to go over them all in detail with you. But yeah, just overall drive really good. If you guys haven't had a chance to test drive one of these, come down to the dealer, you know, spend some time. If you guys are in Southern California, you can see us here at Riverside Mazda. We'll be able to show you all the different options and everything like that. But overall drive just really smooth and beautiful as expected of the Mazda. All right, and that was our review of the new 2024 CX-5 and all the new revisions they have made. So we definitely have a lot more coming with the CX-5 carbon turbo, that brand new trim. We're going to go over that, and we have the signature coming up. So a couple more things to go over when these newer models come in, so stay tuned for that. Also 2024 Mazda 3 that also has a bunch of new revisions. Going to go into that as well. But let me know what you guys think. Is the Select going to be one to go for? A lot of people are going to like the Preferred because of the full leather, the lift gate, but I think this one has a nice value proposition. Something that looks good, stylish. If you don't care about a lot of features, this one is going to be a lot of bang for the buck. Well, until next time.